From the hard-working desk of the Daily Bugle up to the frozen mountains of Jotunheim, we want to hear your nerd shout. And today, we're shouting about S.H.I.E.L.D. Hey guys, it is Kevin Becker here with the rest of the nerdSHOUT team, the real nerdSHOUT team. So let's find out who they are.
Welcome back to nerdSHOUT. I'm Demetris Hartman, and what a fucking kick-ass episode this one was. Right? Right.
Hey gang, Mark Cirillo here. Did you guys notice it's really hard to get out a Hulk fist print?
Welcome back to another episode of the nerdSHOUT Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show right here on the nerdSHOUT Network. That was fun. Alright, so to get us started today, we first off would like to tell you guys that we are very unfortunate Keyla will not be able to join us for this episode due to some technological issues, but she should be back right here with us, nerding out, shouting next week, which is going to be great. But until then, we want to go ahead and talk about this episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I think is, for me, tied with the mid-season finale when we went to the Inhuman City for the best episode of the series. I loved this episode. I loved it. And all because of the real S.H.I.E.L.D. So tell me, we learned a lot about the history of the real S.H.I.E.L.D., about the day that S.H.I.E.L.D. fell. We learned about Bobby and Mac and Gonzalez, and we learned about Weaver.
And how he took the axe.
All that. This man had an axe. Now I have it.
The Xena Warrior Princess is back.
Right? Oh my god, there's a ship full of badassdom.
Isabel Hartley was
What
back.
did you guys think of the reveal of the backstory of the real S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I really liked it, guys. I really, really liked it. It was very cinematic. This episode was so cinematic, but with the flashbacks.
Oh, it was a beautiful episode.
Yeah, just like the parallels
really
and stories, the way that each team evolved. Kind of, you see the differences of how each team evolved. Like with the flashback, you see how the real S.H.I.E.L.D. they're outnumbered, they're about to die, and they have to take over the aircraft carrier. What was it, Mark?
He laughs at real S.H.I.E.D.
It's the real S.H.I.E.D. And I think it's because one of those office comedies where it was like The Real Deal with Bill O'Neill or something.
It's News Radio!
News Radio!
I love that show!
And so that's all I could think of now is The Real S.H.I.E.L.D.
The Real Deal with Phil McNeil.
Bill McNeil.
That's a different after show, though.
That was Bill Hartman.
I will absolutely do a news radio after show.
The Real Deal with Bill
News Radio podcast.
Oh, God. But, Mark, what did you think about...
so, actually, I think this episode ties with me. Yeah, I know. This episode ties with the Kree episode for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved that.
I have consistently liked every single episode. No, it's okay. I've consistently enjoyed every single episode apart from last week's episode. Like, last week's episode for me was... a total dip in the momentum that the series has built up so far, and I've spoken to a lot of other people. They agree with that idea that S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't, or the real S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't fleshed out enough yet for us to care about it so much, and that was my criticism about the last episode, really. But this episode, they started immediately. They jumped right into the thick of it, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed their backstory. I still don't care about them and their plight, if you will, as much as I cared about original S.H.I.E.L.D. team, and I guess obviously that's the purpose of the show. Yeah. These are the main characters that we love. But I like the fact that they're saying that, look, this is another team that's been, building up parallel to what we've been observing so far. Let's see what these guys are going to be like if we give them an equal standing in terms of backstory, at least. Yeah. And try to catch everyone up.
I mean, but that would be a little impossible to give them a complete equal backstory because every episode of this series has been about our team.
We're going to take a season and a half break from our team. And
here we go, the real S.H.I.E.L.D.
Like the next, instead of Agent Carter, they just do like
Agents of Real S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh my god, that would be the worst show.
And it's like a Real Housewives type TV show. Right. But here's the cool thing about it is that in dealing with the real S.H.I.E.L.D. this time, we have been thinking it's happening, we basically got a confirmation that this real S.H.I.E.L.D. is heading us toward the Superhero Registration Act.
Right. Civil War begins with real S.H.I.E.L.D.
Gonzalez says that he wants to find all of the secret hidden powers that Fury's got, and he needs to know who they are so that they can watch them. And that's
he
that's
so they don't hurt anyone else. What the act is.
It's not tell us what your secret identity is, because that doesn't matter anymore. It's we need to know who you are. We are going to keep you on a leash. We tell you who to fight, when to fight, and all of that. And so we are building Civil War here for us, which is so cool that we can do that.
Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has this. It's like a burden. It's like a burden, but yeah, they're also using the show as a platform that all your Inhumans and all your build up to the Civil War is going to be happening through the show, and then you'll be given these teases and given all these really beautiful character development stories through the movies as well.
Right.
But the show itself has taken this on full throttle.
Yeah, it'll be much like a comic book where you get your event comics. You have Civil War, which is 8 issues long, and then you have the month-to-month comics or bi-week or whatever they are that you're reading to give you the extra backstory and the extra lead up. Because I picked up Civil War to read it before I had really read many comics at all, because I didn't start reading comics till very late in life.
Late bloomer.
And very late bloomer. And so I read Civil War, and I understood it, and I liked it. And now that I have read a lot of the underlying backstory and everything with that, it becomes so much more. So you will still enjoy it if you don't watch the show, but you watch the show, you'll get so much more. And it actually comes to our first nerd shout-out of the week. Let's head over to the Twitter box, shall we? All right. And this one, Demetri, why don't you read this one out loud? This one right here at the bottom.
Well, Linda Wynn says, and it's also, her tag is @WinLinda. She asks, what are real S.H.I.E.L.D.'s plans for the Index? What separation will there be between the enhanced and the other /Inhumans?
Interesting.
Because they mentioned that in previous episodes too, like that not everybody is the same.
Yeah.
Some people are now being converted, some people were...
and we saw...
powers, I guess we still can't call them mutants.
No, unfortunately.
They're special.
But we saw Agent Calderon saying that he saved Agent Weaver. They're part of the real S.H.I.E.L.D. team. Saying that he saved her from an enhanced. And for him, he just categorizes Inhumans and enhanced pretty much together. He just puts them all under the same umbrella. Which, I mean, obviously shows why he made his decision to go with live rounds at the end, And then we saw that awesome moment of Daisy, where Skye using her powers, which is so amazing.
So great.
It's so amazing. Like, #1 moment of the whole series so far. But it just feels like, because we're going into the whole registration, that the real S.H.I.E.L.D. at least doesn't change. It doesn't have the categories between Inhumans and Enhanced yet, really. They're just looking at all of them as if they're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Essentially. Which sucks, but at the same time, it just means that it opens up so many possibilities for us, the audience, to enjoy new characters coming into the show as it goes on.
Mark, what do you think? Do you think they will separate them out? What, different levels?
Yeah, I mean, I think what they're going to do is anybody with any powers is on the registry, and I think they'll just be. I think it'll be by what their power is, and then because everybody's going to be different. Because I don't think it'll be too different,
Yeah, I think
categories only or any like that.
I think for the most part,
themselves.
Yeah, because I don't think that they care that much. Except
I don't
one's
think
alien.
most of them care. Yeah, that's the one. I think Gonzalez cares because he's the one who pointed out, put alien blood in you, and it's
right. And it sounded so negative. It sounded like racist.
I feel like and there's a lot,
which is I think what they're trying to do.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with Gonzalez, and I think everybody's going, "What's his real plan? What's his real plan?" Because there's obviously something else going on here, and I think that's it. I think that there's something about the aliens he wants, and I know that if we remember back to Hartley. Back in the first episode, she seemed to have some other stuff going on as well.
And she said, "I have to go find it."
Yeah.
Right. Well, and what was the?
She was going for the diviner. Right?
She was going for the diviner, but it sounded like they had another agenda as well.
Yeah. So it very much could. We've had one flashback already, and we all love her so much. Bring her back again.
Yeah.
We may find out that he's after alien tech of some sort. Maybe, I don't know, but it could be interesting.
I have a question.
Because
I don't feel like they. Well, and I know I hope we have time to talk about it. But so like, I not like so if this real shield has been going on all this time, and they're just letting this other shield like still go out mission and just operate and just like keep going for like I don't understand, and they didn't explain it super clear. Like,
no, they did not.
Why was real shield if Coulson's such a threat? And they're, like, monitoring it. I'm like, why did they just let it go on for so long?
Yeah, that's what I think is a little flimsy. Like, the backstory hasn't been
and I'm like, if these are real S.H.I.E.L.D. And Nick Fury, we already know, like, sort of endorsed both, apparently, allegedly.
It's one of those things of Nick Fury came to Coulson and said, "You're the director."
Right.
Everybody else thinks he's dead, though. No one knows that Coulson is handpicked. He says he raised you to be his successor, but he doesn't know that he came back. He made
you.
Yeah,
he made you. He created you. Like, he doesn't even count Coulson as being human anymore.
And I think one of the reasons we have this flimsy backstory is because there's something that they want. I feel like Gonzalez has been stalling.
There was something they were waiting for
because he wants Coulson to find something for him, and I really feel like he's after something alien, something. Kree or Inhuman,
other than
the toolbox, because he obviously wants it off the toolbox, and since he couldn't get to the toolbox, he's waiting for Coulson to lead him there. But
it would be so interesting if it's actually like the Kraken armor.
That would be cool.
That would be like really cool because Whitehall comes back in. They're both like actually trying to find the armor because then like we can use it and then we can fight against it, or we have the alien tech and we can study it.
Okay. So since we're talking about real S.H.I.E.L.D., I want to go on and start talking about who I thought was the most compelling character of the episode, of Bobby.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now we're gonna go ahead and we were gonna talk about this anyway, but we figured, what the heck? Let's take it to a Twitter shout out. Yeah. Mark, why don't you read our first Twitter box shout out for this topic? Right there at the top.
All right. Oh, okay. From KJ McDude.
Yeah.
Will Bobby continue to work for the real S.H.I.E.L.D. after seeing Skye almost get shot?
Yeah.
That is a good question.
There's a lot in this episode that separates Bobby from Mac. Mac is about real S.H.I.E.L.D. Yes, he saves Fitz, but he still is about real S.H.I.E.L.D.
Whereas Bobby's actually looking out for everybody that was on the original team because they didn't know, like thought they were doing good and we're doing good.
She goes out of her way not to harm anybody.
Exactly.
So what do you guys think? What's your prognosis? Is Bobby coming back? Is Mac coming back? Are both coming back?
Well, Bobby is up to series regular anyways, so I think
Whedon has, I mean, obviously this is not a Joss Whedon show, it is a Whedon show, but he has killed series regulars the episode that they got to series regular.
That's true. Like, haha, I gotcha. He does that, that's true.
And they didn't find out till they were like, oh, shooting.
But I don't think Marvel would allow for Bobby to get killed. They would not allow for her to get killed. If anything, they're building her up to be such an incredible character that they wouldn't. She's larger than life to the extent where it would be bad for them to kill her off, because it's Marvel. If we're looking at it, it's like a show that applies to a huge audience, or at least they're trying to make it so that kids can watch it, we can watch it, everyone can enjoy the show, and that's why they're feeding in all the Inhumans, the whole Registration Act. Starting from here, they're trying so hard to make this show the strongest show it possibly can be, and that's because it had like a very weak start. And so they're trying to build up their audience again.
I mean, from the moment she joined the cast, I was like, she belongs in the movies.
Yeah,
and
right.
So, but
killing her off would not be a good idea.
Right, but more episodes that keep coming, like this one, which was like, I mean, it really felt like she carried the show.
Yeah,
she was in it more than anybody else. I was like, oh, she could be in the movies, like she should be, and it almost feels like they're working her up towards that.
Yeah.
But that might just be wishful thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
it's true.
There's a lot we saw in this episode, even going back to them on the ship when real S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of formed. She's going against orders because she cares about the people that she works with.
Right.
And she has seen who Coulson is, and she has seen his team, and she's not gonna do anything to hurt them. You know, she went with Calderon to protect Skye. You know, Skye's a person, not a thing. And so
she said it'd be better if she sees a familiar face.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I think it's going to be really interesting. I don't know if he'll die, but I don't think Mac is going to be a character who sticks around past this season. But I think that Bobby is going to have a very interesting arc, but she's going to end up back on the team by the end of it.
Back on our side.
Back on our side.
Yeah.
But let us know.
And then she's going to leave them for the Avengers.
You know what I'm interested. Let us know which side you are on. Are you inside for pro registration or against for registration?
Oh, we're starting it now. All right, pro reg or anti-reg.
This is where it starts. Make your choice. Know. Do you want your superheroes to be known and out in the open, or do you want them to have their secret identities?
I mean, but like that doesn't so much play into the movies. Would you be more for your superheroes being a government-controlled agent? Or vigilantes who decide what's right and wrong based on you guys.
Well, the reason I'm saying it is because it looks like there's so many others out there that have gone back into anonymity because Fury's dead now, and that's why they want to bring them back out into the light. So that's where my question comes.
Yeah, I guess I think it was set up though that they're secret not because they're a hero but we don't know who they are. They're secret because nobody knows they exist.
Yeah.
That Fury found them and has tucked them away. But I'm not sure. I mean, it could be. We'll see how they can
coming up.
Tie them all in. My next topic that I think is really cool is Skye. Huge episode for her as well.
Yeah. Yes.
It was a big Mockingbird Skye episode. She has decided to go off with Gordon, who I still am fairly certain is Reader, even though they won't say it.
Yeah.
She has decided to go to the Inhumans, to who we consider probably is the Genetic Council.
Yeah.
And she uses her powers in the coolest way. And she with the water.
She got control over her powers really quick.
She just started feeling it because when he spoke to her, he filled her with such awe about her powers. He said, "You can be magnificent." Up until that point, she's only feared her powers.
Yeah.
No one's told her anything but bad things can come from the fact that you have powers. And he was there. He's the first one to tell her, you are magnificent.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be studied. You shouldn't be anything. You are you, and you are incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why she decided to embrace her power.
A respect for her powers instead of a fear. Is
exactly.
Huge. Exactly. And I loved that I'll be back when you're ready. First off, getting to see that much of him, he was awesome. He was
so
cool. Even this tacky couch.
Yeah.
He really hated that couch.
He really hated that couch. That couch is the main villain in the Inhumans movie.
I wonder if that was like I wonder if the couch was an improvised thing that he added in, like just sitting in this couch is also pretty cool.
Well, I don't know. It's very Whedon too.
Yeah.
To have something to just sort of.
It is very true. Do you think? What do you think will come from Skye being with the Inhumans?
Nothing but great things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's going to become a serious force. And what was cool was we also saw her kick ass in just hand-to-hand combat.
Yes,
which was really great.
The training she's been doing with May.
Exactly.
She's she's such a badass.
And now she could do that without powers, and now with powers, she's just literally. Yeah. I think she's just going to learn how to control her. She's going to be so in tune with her body.
She's going to be a pure
powers. It's going to be amazing.
So cool.
Force to be back in
it's going to be great.
And Lincoln is coming in next episode, right?
Correct.
So we're getting.
It looks like
introduced to Lincoln, and it looks like he is going to be the one who trains her and helps her, explore her powers.
What I'm excited about is she's going off with the Inhumans. Last we saw, Cal and Raina are with them as well.
Yeah.
So we think the reunion is going to happen next episode, or are they going to keep that hidden? Because we don't know what they did to Cal.
Yeah, we don't know what the decision was from
You're
the council.
A science experiment. Oh, I love that.
So he is more of an enhanced rather than an inhuman.
Right.
Yeah.
He wishes he was an inhuman.
He really, really does.
He really does.
That's fair. That's a true point.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting. And I wonder if we actually end up finding out that her mother is still alive.
I don't think so. Like, after she got carved up and put inside
I
a
know.
I
But
know,
that's like another possibility.
She's living inside Whale. She comes out.
Well, if
Whitehall's wearing a dress.
what I'm thinking is,
He
like,
took
what if
out all of her
it's sure
organs.
he did. That's true, and that it means that her organs contain her DNA that he had inside of her, and he obviously like replaces blood with hers, so that makes him take over her powers. But at the same time, let's think about it as almost like the Weapon X program, for example, and how they extracted Wolverine's healing
guess
factor
he had
and
super
put it
healing
in.
factor.
He did, exactly. So what if they're introducing, because she'd stayed young, and so did Wolverine, what if this is the version of the MCU version of the healing factor?
Maybe.
That she can regrow. Because, I mean, Wolverine's been blasted, like, he's been burned alive, nothing left, and he's grown back from just his skeleton.
Yeah.
Right? He's grown all his limbs, brain, eyes, everything, just from that. So that makes me think, like, what if she has this kind of version of a healing factor that brings all her organs back? So
Yeah, I guess
two of them.
the question then is, what is her power? Is it a healing factor, or is it a slowed and extended cell degeneration that causes her to stay young?
But like, she's inhuman, though. She's actually inhuman.
Yeah.
So I'd expect something more than just the slow degeneration of her cells.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It'll be a cool twist as well if
Yeah,
we do
see,
it.
it's
But
just
obviously,
there.
we don't know.
Yeah.
That's speculation.
That's all speculation.
Let us know what you think, guys.
Exactly. Because we love to know what you guys think. In fact, we have 2 more nerd shout-outs that I want to do this episode. So let's take it right back to the Twitter box. All right. Our first question comes from @StraightEdgeXGemini, and they ask, I know he doesn't debut until next week. Do you think Lincoln could be Hellfire? So for those of you who don't know, Hellfire was Daisy Quake's, let's say, on-again, off-again romance option in Secret Warriors, who had the ability to channel Hellfire, the fires of hell, through physical objects. He used a chain.
Yeah, he used it. He could just like channel them through any object, kind of like Gambit would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we talked a little bit last week about maybe Ward could be Hellfire, because there's this obvious romance connection between Skye and Ward. Yeah. Could Lincoln be Ward? Could Lincoln be Ward?
Wow, the biggest revelation ever.
Could Lincoln be...
It's that mask thing again.
Yeah, always this. Made him a smaller man.
It's Madam Mask.
Could Lincoln be Hellfire? And I think that could be interesting, because if you do that, you are probably going to add a romantic level to that because of that character background.
I think that's really interesting, because like if Lincoln's going to be the one who trains Skye in her inhuman abilities, Ward's the one who trained her in her human kind of spy knowledge and abilities.
Which will just add another level to the
it's like
romantic triangle, if there is one.
That's what it's going to be.
Because here's what I think. Lance and Coulson are on their own mission now to stop this real S.H.I.E.L.D. Skye is with the
Which
Inhumans.
we don't really know why. I mean...
Well, I mean, he's got to get his people back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's at least going to get his people back and figure out what's going on.
To me, it
It's
feels
just
like...
they all just talked.
Yeah.
I know, right? They should all just, like,
Figure it out.
communicate, assholes. But the thing
Which is
is...
Mac's problem. Mac isn't a great communicator. He's not good at getting... Even when he was trying to explain to Fitz, it was like, you're still sounding really threatening.
The wall's about to explode. Move. Instead it was, I'm not gonna hurt you.
I would never hurt
It's like,
you.
you don't sound like you're not gonna hurt me. I don't believe you. But that's obviously, like, film.
Yeah,
Like, that's,
right,
that's TV suspense.
Absolutely.
For you.
Yeah.
But what I thought is interesting is that, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. feels to me, or at least the real S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, feels to me like almost the apprehension or whatever that Talbot had with the team in the beginning. Now, if they're more government linked, this new real S.H.I.E.L.D., how does Talbot not know about that? Like, I wonder if he's going to play into this at all. If he is going to be in cahoots with the real S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right?
So that's interesting. That goes into what I was starting to say, is that you've got Coulson and Lance, you've got Skye and the Inhumans, you've got Talbot possibly, and you've got Ward and his group. And I think that Coulson's best option is going to be finding Ward to find Skye and them working together. Ward...
But does that mean that Talbot's going to become their enemy again?
Maybe. I don't know.
So interesting. Like,
Or,
if that...
I don't know. Yeah.
it all crumbles again. That would be crazy.
It'd be really interesting to see them go full Secret Warriors of like, we do not exist. We operate completely under the radar.
And that's going to be at the end of this season. That could be really
That could be very, very cool. And I think the best way to get Ward back into the show is this way, is that Coulson has to rely on new Ward, who operates outside of set up laws.
Yes, he just thinks outside of the box, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything good or bad, to be honest.
But he's like legally outside. He's outside of the law.
They kill people. Yeah. we have to admit that, but
and not government sanctioned.
His team will need to adapt. Now. Yeah, it's not government sanctioned.
Coulson's gonna have to take in this new way of working, and if Lincoln is Hellfire, and bring it back to the question that started all this.
Yeah.
If Lincoln is Hellfire and Skye is with Hellfire and Ward shows up, there's going to be some really interesting choices that she has to make.
Yeah.
And especially if Hellfire has this traitorous streak that he kind of has in the comic as well. So this could be starting of a really cool love triangle team plotting.
Yeah, and she kind of falls in love for bad boys only.
You know she does.
That's
you know she does.
She was a bad girl.
She was.
Yeah.
And the final question that we have in the Twitter box is my favorite question of this week. And it's from our YouTube comments, and it comes from YouTube user Jock Adoobie. And Jock Adoobie says, okay, I'm opening it up to the group. What cool supervillain name shall we give Ward's team? Ward, Agent 33, and Bakshi. I believe Ward's Warriors is already taken by the good people who communicate on the Twitter box. Before we answer, thank you for using the Twitter box.
That's why it's my favorite.
That's why it's his favorite. I literally just wanted to read someone else saying Twitter box. But here's what I want to do. It is. We've got two. Here's what I want to do. I want to open it up. I want you guys to tweet at us using that hashtag nerdShout your team name. So have you guys thought of any? I prepped you with this question. I don't always do that.
Sort of. I was like, I'm not going to think about it until we're
Have we thought of what we could name? Like, notwithstanding Thunderbolts and other things like that they could very well be, like we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
What would be a cool name for them?
The Wardens.
The Wardens? I like the Wardens. Mark is less of a fan. The Wardens.
No, it's good, and usually I'm really good at this, and I completely forgot that we were supposed to come up with
I'm going to call them the Dum Dum Dugans, because I love Dum Dum Dugans.
That's it. There's no...
But he's not on there.
There's no relation, but let's do it.
Dum Dum will be angered by that.
Dum Dum's dead.
That's true.
But if he's not, we never see him die.
Yeah, we've never seen him die.
They're like in his honor.
In his honor, we are the Dum Dum Dugans. But
I think it. Why not? Just because it's being used by people on Twitter, why couldn't it be called Ward's Warriors? I think Ward's Warriors would really appreciate that.
Yeah. Why not? And it's very.
It would be great.
I think it would be a very interesting thing for a show of that magnitude to see something like that on social media and be like,
just take on the
let's
name.
take it.
Exactly.
And let
it's
Coulson,
like throwing us a bone.
Yeah, let Coulson call him that, like, okay, well, we gotta get into, what are Ward's Warriors up to? And then we all go, they know we exist!
Even if he just says it as like a joke once, like, that would be great.
That'd be a really cool thing.
Nice shout-out.
Great shout-out, to the fans.
But let us know, and we'll retweet, and we'll repost on everything, because we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, all with that name, nerdSHOUT. And remember, we do all of this because we want to talk to you guys. So before we wrap up today, I want to give a couple shout-outs to some people who have been super supportive to us.
And we had so many questions this week. It was great.
So many. And we tried to fold in a bunch, but there's only so much time that we have. But keep them coming on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, and we'll keep the conversation up. I know I spent like 2 days ago just on YouTube, just answering questions. So please, please, please keep them coming. A couple shout-outs. First off, we want to shout out to @KyleLivings92. Very, very supportive to us. Level 7 Access Pod. They're a really, really great podcast, and they're super duper cool. So check them out. Ward's Warriors.
Yes,
of course. Of course.
We've given a lot of shout-outs to them today.
You guys have owned the last 2 minutes of film. But again, they've been really, really supportive. At Wandering_Lily is another person
Always.
who came over with us when we did the change.
From the first ever episode.
On whatever network that was. So thank you very, very much to all of you. And as always, if you are like those people and love talking to us about these things, check out the S.H.I.E.L.D. Radio podcast. You can find them at S.H.I.E.L.D. Radio on Twitter or at www.helicarrierpodcast.com and check them out because they have a lot of really, really cool conversations going on as well. And as always, let us know your thoughts using that hashtag nerdSHOUT because, hey guys, we want to hear you nerd shout.
nerd shout!
Come and tell us.
Let us know. And if you're at WonderCon coming up, come and find us.
We might be there.
I will.
You definitely will.
I would like to try.
Not always can afford it.
I think Sunday I could.
Excellent. So hopefully we will be seeing some great comments from you guys. Thank you all very much. Tell Kayla how much you missed her and love her.
Yes.
And we'll have her back next week for all of us talking about next episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Say your name, Dylan.
Wait! Give me a minute! Don't talk! Not even breathe!